Oh, it's just a quick video of a repair of a Powerhouse 8.2 mixer. A couple of minor faults in this. It was reported a reverb wasn't working. And I found this here, this triac here, you can see is loose, which probably means there's a dry joint on the underneath there. This obviously controls here, comes through here, up to here, and goes onto the main desk. If I put the camera down for a second. This is the other half of the desk, the top half. What I've done here is this is the processor board for the reverb unit, and I've put it back together now. But if you look just underneath, is it this side? Oh, there it is. This bit here, that's the EEPROM, which is a programmable chip, like the processor of it. I've taken it out, copied it, and then cleared it and reprogrammed it. That's all working okay. And the other slight problem on this was, this is the reverb pot. This one was faulty. It's weird, it was working, but then when you wiggled it, it cut out, so it wasn't that apparent because all the tests on it tested okay. It's only when you actually took it out, bench tested it with a meter, you found out what the problem was. So I've done all these repairs here on this board. If I put this back down. So next I've got to take this big power board out here. Here are all the offsets for the outputs for the amps. So I'm going to take this out, resolder this, check all the other joints on it, solder it up again, and we'll see how we go from there. I'll pause the video and get back to it when it's done. Okay, now I've taken the power board out, the main control board. If I can find it again. Where is it? So bear with me. Just prop that up. It is that one there. Right. Now the previous video I was showing the loose triac. I'll find it again. Yeah, here it is. Now, if you look closely, don't know how good this will come out up on the video. Let's see if I can get this focused. Basically, in the middle of the screen, these three pins here, they're the joints, and they're what are called dry joints, where the solder has either not been cleaned properly and broken down in time. So you can, I don't know, this using a camera phone, so it's not particularly good, but there we go. You can just see them rocking slightly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to re-solder them, and then get on with it. Okay, and I'll return soon. Okay, so back with a Studiomaster Powerhouse. As I explained earlier, this got a loose triac on here on the power supply side, which goes up to the board. You can see them wiggling there. I've done a few further tests on this, and basically, if I point out with my meter, just here, on here and here, the track's actually broken. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and solder it in place, see if I can just catch the edge of the track. Otherwise, if that doesn't work, I'm going to put a bypass wire down to here, just fire the track, put a thin bit of wire in, and same across here. This one here seems fine, I've tested all that. Now, one of the ways you can test this is basically just put a multimeter across it and move it. Also, these big pins here, these hold the heatsink in onto the triac, so there's not really very much to solder on there. So what I'm going to do is, if I can't get a good decent grip on it, stop them rattling around, I'll just hot glue that in. You can use hot glue because it's non-conductive. You tend to find it on a lot of circuit boards holding capacitors up and things like that. Now I can show you how I tested this quickly. If I put my camera here so you can see what I'm doing. As you can probably tell, I'm not in my workshop at the moment, I'm in my kitchen. So what I've done is, I've got my just meter set to audio. I'll put across that pin, follow the track. If I can hold this. Right, there we go, I'm on the track. See, as I wiggle it, tone's coming on and off, which says the track's broken between there, and it's the same on here. this side. Yeah, this one. This one, the track's definitely gone, so I'm definitely going to have to put a wire in there. Try again. No. This one you can see there's no, the connection's intermittent, and this one here, this one here is alright, as the tone doesn't go off when I wiggle it. So basically it's going to be a short wire from there to there, short wire from there to there. I could even bridge that with solder, but I've got to clean all the old solder off here, and then new solder it and join it all up. So I'll let you know how I get on. Right, okay, so here we are again. I've just resoldered these joints here. As you can see, I have had to put a bypass wire in. The track was slightly damaged. This other track, it was just a dry joint. It just lifted off, so that's soldered down fine. But this one here, the track was actually cracked. You can just see this little, just soldered a bridge piece of wire, a little bit of signal wiring. Just need to trim this off. Okay, there we go. Now, if I just move my meter. If I put my camera back up here again, okay. You can now see when I go on here, getting continuity and wiggling it, it's already reduced the amount of movement in there, so that's holding nicely now. This one here, okay. There we go. So that one there's fine, and track going the other way, which is comes up over there. That's that one. See that one? Yeah. There we go. Yeah, that one, the track going the other way was fine. And lastly, this little one here. That there's all fine now. Now, last thing I do is let me glue guns heated up. Just wasn't able to get a decent joint on here, so just dab of glue around these pegs for the heat sink. Once that cools down, that will hold them nicely in place. As I say, the hot glue doesn't affect the circuit board in any way because it insulates. That's the other one there. That's a bit loose, so I may as well put a bit on here while I'm there. Like this track was all right. There's no problems on the joints on that. So there's a little bit of play in it. While I've got it opened up, may as well do it properly. Okay, there we go. Just wait for that to cool down, make sure it's all alright, then get it back together. Okay. Yeah, that's nice and firm now, no movement in that, and no movement in that. Okay, we'll get it back together and see where we go now. Okay, here we are. All the circuit boards now back to the power board. The heat sinks on. Just might put these connectors here back on. With these, one thing worth noting is there is this chassis earth cable ground wire here. When I got this one back, it was disconnected. This can also cause problems with bad sound quality, reverb's not working, things like that. So it's always good to make sure when you put it back together that that's in nice and firm. Okay, well, excuse me. Studiomaster Powerhouse 8.2. Just done some repairs to the reverb. Just got it plugged into my digital radio at the moment with an line input.
Maybe
So there we go.
drugs or match fixing that it would just apply throughout.
Just had a text right out
Yep.
from somebody
Okay,
who was
that's
once the most expensive
reverb unit
teenager
on. Bring
at
the
that
slider
time.
up.
Played with you, I think. Certain Jamie Redknapp.
Yeah.
He was most expensive teenager at that time. When would that have been? Late 80s, early 90s?
88, I think it came around about that.
£350,000. Not 31.5 million, £350,000. Do you want a rough guess at what he was on a week? At Liverpool?
Go £400.
£600 a week. Do you think Luke Shaw's on that?
I would like to work out in seconds or minutes rather than...
He's apparently on £160,000 a week.
Football's going, good luck.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's got to deliver for that, though, hasn't he? Paul is a Liverpool fan. Let's talk about Suarez and FIFA's ban. How you doing, Paul? You're on TalkSport.
Hello.
Hi, Paul.
I just want to say that, as far as I can see here, FIFA has decided to punish Liverpool more than anybody else. They give 9 matches against Uruguay and 13 against Liverpool. They've decided that they give a fine of, what was it, £66,000 against Louis, which is roughly a third of 1 week's wages, which is pretty much a token. And then you've given a 4-month ban. Now, if the 4-month ban had been a suspension without pay, that would have hurt him, but they didn't. So Liverpool essentially have been forced to give him a 4-month paid holiday when they could have used that money to get a loan replacement while they were without him.
He's not going to be off on his holidays for the next 4 months, let me tell you. He'll be back at Liverpool and he'll be training as hard as the other players to make sure he's fit. Surely he can't train.
Activity.
We can't train.
I'm led to believe he can't train with the club, but he's allowed to.
That's absolutely
nonsense. How's he going to train on his own?
Oh, hang on. How's he going to get himself up to his...
Okay, here we go. Just scrolling through some of the effects. Bring phase back up so you can hear it.
All activity and laid out everything. They included, for example,
Training.
They included administrative in that. And then they said, well, actually, he can be transferred to another club. That's administrative. So obviously they're going back. I think that if Liverpool made a lobby FIFA, they'd be able to have.
Yeah, they're quite trained, surely.
But you see, Paul, thanks for the call. But you know what? You have to take everything that comes with having a great player like Luis Suarez.
Sit down with a fader.
When they gave him that bumper contract at the start of last season, they knew what they were doing. They knew who they were giving a contract.
Okay, so
they knew it had happened twice already.
all working, all repaired.
It was inconceivable. It could happen again, and it has. So Liverpool have to take the consequences.
Well, yeah, they knew it was a risk. Undoubtedly they knew it could be a risk.
And they were prepared to
Potentially.
take it.
And they were prepared to do that. Why? Because he knows...